It's Hater Sensei, Grandmaster Chosen One, Ramsey Dewey over here. Welcome to another edition of Q&A with the Coach. We have a question from our friend Mr. T. Mr. T, dude, it's been a minute since we heard about Mr. T in the public consciousness. He's probably not that Mr. T, but we all love Mr. T, man. Mr. T says, Ramsey, what's your opinion on teaching kids leg locks? I've seen kids as young as 6 learning BJJ, but at what age should leg locks be taught? Two issues go on here, leg locks being demonized and what kids should actually be learning. Now, in competition, children have a much more strict set of rules in Brazilian Jiu-jitsu than adults. Most submissions are not allowed for kids, whereas position is emphasized. So, if your goal is to win Jiu-jitsu tournaments, focus on position for kids. But that's kind of a general rule for Jiu-jitsu. Position first, then attack. Remember that. It's kind of important. Not just for Jiu-jitsu, but all martial arts, all fighting. Position first, then attack. We're not going to demonize leg locks here. Leg locks should not be saved and preserved until you're advanced. Because you're not advanced if you don't understand leg locks. You're not. You're not. Leg locks are demonized, and they have been for a long time, and there are a bunch of silly reasons for that. But let's undemonize them. Let's exorcise the demons for a minute around the leg locks. People who tell you not to learn leg locks will tell you they are too dangerous. Look, any submission that is not taught responsibly, where the students are not taught to respect the danger of the submission, where they are not taught to perform the submission safely and under control in sparring, where they are not taught when and why to tap out. That's irresponsible teaching. So, if you wait until you have a brown belt or a black belt to learn what a toe hold is, or a heel hook is, or a straight ankle lock is, that's stupid, that's irresponsible, and that's going to hold your game back substantially. Think about it. Even as far as sport jiu-jitsu goes, the straight ankle lock is legal at the white belt level. It's legal for white belts to do. We don't often see white belts do it because they're white belts, and a lot of them have never been taught leg locks, and a lot of them have still... They've bought into the propaganda. Leg locks are evil and bad and wrong, and you shouldn't do them. Boo, leg locks. But they're legal. Hip locks are also legal at the white belt level. I don't think any white belt has ever done a hip lock in competition. If you have, let me know or show me. Show me, man. I'd be interested in seeing that. Send me a link of a white belt doing some banana splits or some electric chair submissions. That would be neat. I'd like to see that. That stuff's legal in IBJJF tournaments at the white belt level. But we don't see it. We don't see it because, well, tradition! Screw your tradition, man. Screw your tradition. The reason you're getting hurt with leg locks, if you are, is because you don't understand them. And you don't understand them because you belong to an anti-leg lock cult that thinks they're bad and wrong and evil. Leg locks are too dangerous, but we're going to strangle each other to death. Oh, but that's different, Ramsey, because we teach each other to respect the tap, when to tap out when you're being choked, why the choke is dangerous, how to apply the submission safely during sparring, etc. Oh, hey, what a novel idea. Do all of those things with leg locks, and you don't have any problems. But we're talking about kids here. Kids, not adults. So I've gone on my soapbox about adults. Maybe I'll go on another one. There were some dudes came to my gym a few years ago, and they had visited another Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academy. And they said, oh, these other guys showed us a leg lock on day one. What a McDojo that was, they said to me. And I was like, really? Why do you think that makes them a McDojo? Oh, because we heard that you're not supposed to teach leg locks to beginners. And I said, well, show me what you learned. And, of course, they had forgotten everything they learned. They didn't even remember how to do it. Guess what we did that day? We had a lesson about leg locks, how to apply them safely. how to respect the danger, what the danger actually is, when to tap out, when you're safe, when you're not. People were educated that day. That was a good lesson, man. That was a good lesson. Not only did they leave understanding how to apply the leg locks, certain leg locks that we went over, but more importantly, how not to get hurt with them and how not to hurt other people with them. That's important. If you break your training partners, you shouldn't get another one, man. So should you teach leg locks to kids? Why not? Why not? Unless you're an irresponsible idiot who does not belong teaching anybody anywhere. And there are a lot of people in that boat, in which case, get better, improve. You're not beyond hope. But, again, the first thing kids should be focusing on is position. Position first. Learn your wrestling first. Oh, but Ramsey, wrestling's too dangerous for grown-ups. Because in my gym, we always start on our knees. Another soapbox moment has begun. Learn how to wrestle. Do you know why you think takedowns are so dangerous? The same reason you think leg locks are dangerous, because you don't understand them. And what you do not understand and what you fear will come back to bite you in the butt and hurt you. Takedowns are dangerous if you don't understand takedowns. So if you have a room full of people who've never wrestled before, who don't work on the most basic fundamentals of grappling, being able to dictate position, and unfortunately, a huge, huge swath of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu academies fall under that banner. Repent of your wicked ways, guys. Stop it, learn how to wrestle, and apply the same methodology of safety and respect for danger to those principles of position and wrestling that you would to, say, an armbar. How do you teach an armbar to a kid? Most people teach armbars to kids' classes. We're so numb to the danger of an armbar because we've been taught to respect the danger of an armbar. When you feel the pressure on your arm, on the elbow right here, when you feel it bending backwards and hyperextending, don't wait for the pain, don't wait for it to snap, crackle, and pop. Tap out to the pressure, and you're going to be okay. If you get stuck in this position, tap out, and you're going to be okay. If you feel the tap, tap, let go. When your partner taps out, they're going to be okay. Follow a few simple rules, everybody's going to be okay. Don't grapple like an idiot, don't grapple like a maniac. Everybody's going to be okay. And yet, we cannot, as a collective whole in the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community, apply that same simple methodology to wrestling. Oh, but Ramsey, our academy's not big enough. We'll all run into each other because there's a black hole in the middle of the gym that sucks everybody into the center. How about develop some spatial awareness? That's an important skill set every single martial artist needs to have. And if you don't have it, you're not a good martial artist. You're not a good grappler. You're not a good jiu-jitsu player. You're not a good anything. If you don't have spatial awareness, you're physically... What's the word in English? Atrasado, it's a Spanish word. Oh yeah, retarded. Yes, physically retarded. And I'm not saying that pejoratively. That means slow. That means held back. That means developmentally disabled. And you've done it to yourself. It's a self-inflicted wound. Stop it. Stop it. I'm passionate about this topic, man. Because Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a beautiful, wonderful, highly effective martial art that is so often taught stupidly. Stupidly. And often, very good grapplers are teaching grappling stupidly. There are a lot of stupid traditions being passed off as Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I hate it. I hate it. You're not illogical people. You're not stupid people, even if you're passing on these stupid traditions. To develop a high level of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you have to be smart, you have to be dedicated, and you have to follow those few simple principles of training safety. And yet, so many of you have failed to apply those to all aspects of your training. It's not hard to do. It's not a big giant jump over an impassable chasm. Start training the good stuff early and often, and respect it the same way you do with everything else, and you're gonna be fine. Not just fine, you're gonna be better. Thank you for watching. Now get out there and train.